Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to this and join this webinar. And especially thanks for your precious time you give for this webinar. I'm Jignesh. I'm a career counselor in Delphi Star Training Center. So today's topic about disaster recovery and business continuity in IT dimension. So we'll have a discussion on this topic, and later we will talk about more cybersecurity in IT dimension. I can see lots of people are from the professional IT professions, and really, I respect you all to give a time for this webinar. So for this topic, I would like to take help from Mr. Kashif Akhtar. He's our facilitator for especially giving a training for the cybersecurity, supply chain, project management. Uh, you might be know him very well in the LinkedIn and the YouTube channel, especially in Come Learn Together and Delphi Start Running Center. We have a YouTube channel, so we people share a few knowledges about the each and every professions. These are the best things what we do. So we always think about sharing knowledge and gaining knowledge from other people also. If you people have anything to share something, please make yourself more comfortable and you can speak out here and you can discuss with Mr. Kashif Akhtar when he will say about when he asks anything questions or you have any questions, please make yourself free to ask the questions. You can put in the chat box and we can start. I think so. We should start now. So Kashif sir, over to you.
So good evening, everyone. Today, I will formally welcome you for today's webinar. So a little bit about myself. Like Jignesh is saying so many things about myself, but I am still a learner of cybersecurity and in the field of supply chain. And I'm doing basically an ISO guy, but still this is my favorite subject. And now I have started going through this way of spreading the knowledge. So we are trying to just make something of ourselves aware and just putting together some discussions. And usually what we have seen is that by doing this kind of efforts, we are getting in touch with good people like you, and we are able to share more knowledge. And hopefully today's session, we will be talking about something related to business continuity and disaster recovery, and why only, like in today's world, why IT dimension is gathering a lot and lots of attention, primarily because of post-pandemic, but also even if pandemic was not there. So mostly these concepts within the organizations are basically mostly IT driven. So we will see like what we really mean by the IT driven part. So let's start the session. So and if you have any questions or something, I'm more than happy to answer it. And since it's a vast field, I may not be able to answer some of the questions, or maybe I will be able to answer some of them also. But if we are not able to help you right away, we will be there to basically come back to that answering of your concerns. But definitely, I want to make it more knowledge sharing, just to spread the knowledge itself. So let's start today's session. So today, we will be discussing something about the agenda for the webinar or information session will be such where will be discussions regarding disruptions and regarding lots of other things. So let us discuss about these things. Now we will be focusing today's session on disaster recovery and how we can manage the business continuity. And also we will try to address some of the BCM and DR components and why it is important with respect to IT in the economic activities around the world. And the objective will be to find out something about BCM, and people might be knowing because they are coming from vast experience into these kind of terms and knowledge within the IT dimension. So we will discuss something from my point of view, and let's see how it is and how to handle and prepare for an unknown disruptions, why BCM is critical in relation to the IT systems, how to survive in the unexpected risk and unexpected events, what we can do to plan for the worst, and how we can just recover timely in the cost effective manner. Sometimes it's possible, sometimes may not be possible. So we will really see like what I really meant with that, and something a little bit about the career prospect of IT in the cybersecurity. So as we are aware, then when we talk about the cyberspace and all those things, so mostly why I have chosen the cybersecurity as my first slide, or why it is this. So as we are aware that most of the things, or maybe like 99% of the information or 95% of the business activities are processing through the cyberspace, and we are interacting through the IT technologies, components, firewalls, servers, and all these things, and we are connecting together through this cyberspace. So one of the important element with respect to the cyberspace is the cybersecurity, where we are trying to defend our networks, our systems, our information, our computers from the malicious acts of the other people, and we will try to keep it safe. And it can be a collective method, technology, and processes to help protect the confidentiality. And maybe it can be an IT security is a set of cybersecurity strategies that prevents unauthorized access to organizational assets. And by assets, we don't only mean the tangible, we also mean the informational assets. And we are basically concerned about the integrity and the confidentiality of the sensitive information. So for me, in the simple terms, if we have to talk about, it is actually safeguarding of your CI of the information that is flowing or being processed in the information technology architecture. And it is important because every organization possesses a unique critical business information, and there will be always somebody who may be interested to penetrate and try to either steal it or hamper it. And the reasons being, we are all interacting with non-living things, which are computers, which just works on the authentication. And if I am sitting on this side of the computer and nobody knows who is on the other side of the computer, you just are seeing my name and the information which I'm trying to process or I'm trying to show you. So as a concept, what we are trying to depict is that it is actually business continuity is actually focusing on keeping the business operational, because in financial terms, we call it as a business entity is a ongoing concern. So we will be mostly discussing about how to keep our business operational if we encounter a small event or a big event or a disaster, and how we can help to recover ourselves back to normal, which is mostly called as a resilience. So it is basically a strategy where we ensure that the continuity operations will continue with the minimum service outage or the downtime. And if it is a disaster, so we will go for a business disaster recovery plan. So then we can restore the data and the critical informations and applications in the event our systems are not working or we are losing those systems. It may be a natural disaster also, it can be man-made disaster also, it can be in hacking activity also, which has shut down my computer itself. And now with respect to the disaster recovery, it is basically a method of regaining access and functionality to the IT infrastructure after we hit a natural disaster or a man-made disaster. And COVID-19 pandemic is a good example of a disaster in the sense that people were forced to work remotely, which they might not have done in this large scale. People used to work at home, but not in that kind of a massive scales. And along with the schools where 20 to 30,000 people or pupil were studying in the school in the closed premises with a face-to-face learning, were forced to go back home and learn remotely. So just you see the IT dimension, how one disaster, even though if it is not a disaster also, can change the dimension of IT. And we are going to cover why I am saying too much of IT here and there. So if we see the differences is like pretty straightforward. Like if we are trying to keep our business running, it is business continuity planning. And if we are trying to restore normal business operations after we have encountered a disaster, is basically disaster recovery. So why IT in a business continuity efforts? Now, if you see a normal organization, what actually we are trying to do in any business uh, organization is we will try to understand the information, and we are trying only to safeguard the critical or the sensitive information which I am the owner of, and make information about ourselves about our family or maybe any information. If it is personal information, so I'm mostly bothered about the privacy of that information. And if it is related to my business, so I'm trying to safeguard. So the only things which we are trying to do in the business continuity is actually preventing the CIA of the information, because that's the most critical element in nowadays. So if we see, we are trying to only make the information which we hold, either it is a small event or either it is a disaster. So the most important thing which we are going to do with respect to the information which is flowing through my system, so I am going to keep it secure, prevent any losses to that or any unauthorized modification to that data or information. And if most of the companies are customer oriented, so I am going to make my systems available. No matter what happens, I should be able to have a contact with them. So if we take an example of an organization like a bank and all these things, so if there is a disaster, if there is a small outage, so just imagine the amount of impact it will happen. And why IT only? If we see the dimensions of today's work, this is how we are working in the organization. So if we see that all the information, whether it is payroll, analytics, whether it is uh, communicating from one person to another person, the ERP, everything is being in an IT environment. So you just can imagine that now the BCP and the DR is mostly concentrated towards the IT efforts because of the involvement of IT to that extent. And post pandemic, what actually happened, which was happening on a smaller scale, now we are socializing on the social media because we are not able to visit anybody's home. So we are trying to do everything on the social media. And above that, if we see the learning and education, from the face-to-face learning, we have gone into the remote learning. So this is also an IT dimension. Now the education sector also needs to have an education platform available to each and every child. So they are also very much thinking about whether they can keep this thing running for all the 20, 30,000 people sitting at different dimensions. So they also have to put more and more efforts on their IT environment. Previously, it was not there. So any small disruption, one day of education is gone. So that is also now. And just imagine in the social media, if one day WhatsApp is off, how much people are starting, like you will see it in the Gulf news also, that there is an outage for WhatsApp, there is an outage for Facebook. So these kind of dimensions, so everything is turning into the IT field. And furthermore, if we see in the banking sector, now everything is online. There is nothing called a face-to-face transaction now. It is only like a few tasks which are available. You have to go there in types of disputes or something to do with the authentication. But otherwise, computers are speaking to the computers. So everything is online. And for banks also, for BCP, DR activities, they are mostly concentrating on the IT systems by going through the business impact analysis, and they will keep their assets which are critically communicating to the, and they will add redundancy also because they can't be out of service for any reason. And the same thing goes for the shopping. Previously, the groups like Carrefour, Max, and all these things, they were very less bothered about the IT networks they used to have for their inventory and all these things, but now they are communicating to the people. People are ordering online and there are scheduled deliveries and everything. So if you see the dimension, everything is online and everything is being done on the handheld devices. So everything is actually, the shopping experience is online. So this is also has attributed that if there is a disruption in any of these services, so then the shop will be offline, and definitely the customers will be annoyed with that. And if we see also our home, this is our latest home. So anything which is not working from our home, so we get annoyed and we get disrupted. And for one mobile phone, we will always keep one other mobile phone. If it doesn't work, so we will keep dual capability of Etisalat and 2, so that we are always in touch with the people. And since children are working from home, so the devices have to communicate, the Wi-Fi has to be robust. So if we were our home also is actually record like if we have to continue our operations from home, so we need to make sure that our IT is good, our IT systems like Wi-Fi and all these things and the devices are working well, so that we can communicate it to the outer world. And pandemic has taught us all these new things. Okay, so that is actually the problem. So that's why if you see the business continuity planning, it is basically when you are in trouble and when something disruptions happen. So the first thing which is hit by the outsider is your security parameters, and they will try to keep it so, and then we have to recover it back to the original phase. So that is all about business continuity planning and disaster recovery, and that's why most of the efforts are being given into the IT field, because everything is related to IT nowadays. All the businesses are working on IT platforms, whether it is cloud service providers, whether it is some systems, applications, everything. Office 365 is offered by Microsoft, which is an online service provider. So it is like notes, maybe we can download it also, but we can call that application also. So everything is IT. So whether it is our home, banking sector, hospitals, you name any of the activities, so the business continuity efforts are mostly on the IT field, and IT has become the backbone of the industry nowadays. So if we go into more detail of business continuity, so if we are trying to make a plan, so we need to plan it in such a way that it becomes a proactive plan. And what we are trying to do is that risks are actually life substances. So we are taking into consideration different types of risks that can be associated with any disruption of our operations. Okay, and which can hamper us, and we will not be able to continue. So it can be logistics also. It can be just like recently a ship was actually stuck in the river Suez Nile, and there was a big news that it has costed around $30 billion to the industry of shipping and logistics, because most of the ships were stuck there. Now, if the supply is stopped, then the demand rises and the economic factors get affected, and then you have the prices gone up, and somebody has to pay for that prices, because whatever delays are happening, everybody will be passing on these things either to the consumer or maybe the retailer will get a hit. So we need to make sure that whatever risks are there may be known, may be unknown, or little bit known. So we need to take care of these risks, and we will try to mitigate it as a proactive efforts. And like a good example being pandemic was there, like in China for November 2019, but people ignored it. The travelers were traveling all across, and suddenly that small sort of COVID-19 impacted the whole universe itself. So we are facing this problem till now after 2 years also. So this is a big issue. So we need to understand that the risk has to be the risks of life. So we have to take on to the consideration the risk of each and every scenario which we can think of and which can have an impact on our operations. So we need to tackle it and mitigate it in a proactive manner. And also basically when we are trying to manage the whole business continuity, so sometimes we define this as a planning, advanced planning and preparation of the organization. So it can be either keeping some money aside for future, either keeping some buffer for the supply and demand. If you're talking about the logistics, just keeping in mind that if one service is disrupted, so we have a redundancy, which is very difficult in nowadays because the world is very competitive. So we can't have a redundancy in our system, but still for some sectors like banking, healthcare and all these things, so they have to keep some sort of redundancy in their system so that they can offer the services when they are required. And BCP, when you are planning, we should be developed and it should be implemented in such a way that it is an advanced effort, it is a proactive effort. And we are actually not only making the plan itself, so it should be properly maintained and managed also, because having a document in place is one thing, but to maintain it and to make it current is another important, because every plan will have a life cycle of it. It comes into picture and then it is implemented, then somebody has to review it and see whether it is still applicable or some more excels come. So this is an effort which people have actually forgotten pre-COVID, and they were saying that we have the best ERM in place, we have everything, but when once disaster strikes, so we were not ready for it. There were not enough laptops also, there were not enough IT components to help all the people of a country. I'm not talking about a city, I'm talking about a country, to be able to give all the people a laptop, a device to run the business from outside. So it has a big impact on the business continuity also. And BCM, the management system has to be in such a way that all the things are done end to end, and it should be a turnkey solution. It should not be based on one operation. It should be holistic approach, and it should be end to end, so that if the customer is going to be impacted, because there will be no one process which yields into a customer need. There will be 15,000 other streams flowing from different departments, and most of the departments will be involved. And then it has to come to IT, because IT will be communicating to the remote location where the customer is residing. So now that's the reason it has become more like efforts from the IT side, because they have to keep their services up and running, because everything the customers are basically talking online, and we need to be aware about that thing. So a comprehensive BSCM should be process oriented approach, and as we are saying, it should be holistic. And a business impact analysis is very much important in the sense that, because we cannot keep all the things running with respect to business continuity, we have to see which are the highest impact to the organization, which have the higher availability requirements. And once we have this thing analyzed, so because every effort in the business continuity plan will cost money, and in everywhere in all the fields, the people are taught to be doing the cost benefit analysis. So the most availability required services needs to be make available as soon as possible if there is a disruption in the services. So that will cost money, and the money is the game changer in any business. So we need to be aware that we cannot do 100% on all the activities or all the assets, or maybe all on the information stream. So we need to see which services should be made available in the minimum amount of time, so that our core business stakeholders are not affected. And we can have the like these are some of the ways we can actually create a business continuity plan. We need to see the regulatory dimension. We need to carry out a risk assessment and business impact analysis. Some people will either say, I will carry out a business impact analysis first and then do the risk assessment. Most of the time, the good practices say that it is better for us to do the risk assessment, so we know the risks and the threats and the vulnerabilities, and then it will be helpful for us to actually streamline the outcome of the residual risk through the BIA, so that we can plan accordingly our efforts of business continuity and disaster planning. Then we strategize the plan and development, create an incident response plan. Testing, training, and maintenance is very much important. The most important thing is the testing part. The reason being because basically I'm an auditor also. So we were doing some business continuity management audit in one of the organization, and they gave us with a very proud feeling that this is our business continuity and the disaster recovery procedures. So kindly go through it. It is a word class and all these things, and we have got so much awards and everything. And when we tried to test that, because there were 6 members written or mentioned on the procedure. So we called one of the guy that there is an emergency. Can you kindly help me? So the response was very much on the other side, and he was saying, who has given you this number? So kindly tell me who has given you this number and how can I help? I don't know. So you just imagine that creating a business continuity plan is not something a small thing, because if it is a disaster, it is a disaster. And mostly in the aircrafts also, we are very much lenient. We don't listen to the instructions of the air hosts and the air hostesses, and we don't watch the safety video also, because we are sure that we are going to land safely. But things can go wrong, and we should be ready for each kind of scenarios also. And the most important thing is the communication plan. At least people should know what to do, because most of the time the people forgot that one person who is there to call off and decide whether it is a disaster or it is a normal incident. So the communication plan matters a lot. And we can have like simulations, we can have surprise drills also, we can have process isolation reviews, and it can be full scale BCP drills also. Now, with respect to the disaster recovery, the most important thing is that once we have hit by a disaster, the restart it has to be done so that some of the important things can be recovered or can be reiterated into the business as soon as possible. But we need to understand it really depends upon the type of disaster we are being hit. If it's an earthquake, if it is a flood situation, okay, and all of our servers are not working. So if we, even if we have a remote site, so who will reach the remote site, how to reach the remote site? So it's a very big and lengthy journey. So the whole idea is to highlight the risks related to which can actually hamper whatever we have decided, because we can only decide to a certain extent. But if there is a tsunami sort of a situation and people are there and they are not aware what is happening, so miscommunication and who will reach the disaster site first, and whether we reach the disaster site, there is no electricity and we don't have a backup electricity plan. So then this can be a big issues with respect to disaster. So disaster, to start the disaster recovery plan, somebody has to push that button and say this is a disaster. That is also a big question mark. Who will do that? And most of the time, it's very people don't actually call of it a disaster, and all the people are in the perception that it is a small incident. And and if we want to lower the cost associated to, because disaster recovery costs are huge, and if we want to lower them, so we need to have a proper risk management system which can tell us that which is a high level of availability requirement for which system and how to bring it live. So we need to understand all these facts also. So disasters are basically, as we were discussing, they are natural, man-made, and sometimes man-made and the natural. And it's a small thing, and we make it a big thing. Is called a hybrid disasters. And we can create a disaster recovery team, identify and assess disaster risks, determine the critical applications, and specify the backup and offsite procedures, and then test and maintain the DRP. But also, it is very important to know that all these efforts are very much important. They reach cost also, but there is disaster recovery team should be able to actually carry out these things after the disaster, because the disaster recovery can be only planned for certain extent. But after that, what is going to happen, I don't know what is going to happen. So we need to be understanding that fact also, because disasters can be critical also. And how we react out of a fire, because everybody knows a fire alarm, everybody know how to use a fire extinguisher. But if we use the wrong fire extinguisher class with respect to like putting up water on a chemical fire, so it is going to promote the fire. So that is also an important thing we need to look for. So how people react during disaster cannot be imagined. We can only test it to certain extent because of the involvement of human beings and the IT systems and some non-living things. Things can go wrong also. So we can do the walkthrough testing, we can do simulation testing, we can do full interruption testing, we can do a parallel testing also. So it really depends upon how we are going to do it. So with respect to the IT, the most important thing is that pandemic has taught us to do work from distance. Okay, people are coming cyber and smart ready. Banks are turning out to online platforms. IT technology is growing everywhere. Government transactions are turning paperless. So Dubai and everybody is having now 2040 plans are there. So they are going to go online. So it is good for us to be aware about the IT components, even if I am at home also. So I have like 5 devices at the time working. Somebody is working from home, talking to their office server. Somebody is talking to their school also. And there are online examinations. So everything is working. So I have to be a business continuity and disaster recovery manager at home also. So we need to understand that every one of us needs to know these things so that we can remain in the market. Otherwise, we will be out of the market. And prospects for IT is ever ending, and it is a very good career path. Now even the banking, groceries are switching on to apps like the restaurants are going on Zomato and all these things. So they are hiring IT people to promote themselves. There is digital marketing going on. There are YouTube things are going on. So everything is becoming IT nowadays, and especially it has become more evident after pandemic, and we are still seeing lots and lots of things. So IT professionals will always be in demand, whether you are working in hospital, whether you are a chartered accountant now. So everything, the debit and credits are happening online with the ERP system. Okay, so they need to learn this domain. So even if it is a forensic audit, or if it is a normal audit, or whether we are going to run our own business, run a logistics cycle, everything is online. So everything is based on the online things. So IT platforms and IT networks and IT things will be there for a future sometime till we have another disruptions, disruptive, innovative technology being invented. So Steve Jobs once said that I want to see all the components in the hand of the person, and he invented the iPhone. So we need to understand that somebody will come up with a new idea, but till that time, everything is online. So it's a good career prospects. Um, and for myself, I am still learning. I am still part of the same learning journey, because cybersecurity, maybe BCP, DRPs, these are very big sites and big C. So I am a little diver of the sea. So I am still learning. And uh, with respect to Delphi, since we have come on their platform, so it's better for us to understand what they offer. They are offering a learning and knowledge platform. They offer a little bit of flexibility with respect to the timing. They offer career guidance also, and they provide hands-on training. And the whole idea of them is to train the people to become industry ready. And we are trying to provide some awareness through YouTube channel. So any questions and answers for today? And if you have any other further questions, you can get in touch with the number listed on the thing. And you can also follow us on our YouTube channels. And your feedback will be very much helpful for us to provide you with the sort of information which you are looking forward to. So we can always work on that kind of a thing. So thank you very much for today's webinar. I think Jignesh, if you can ask anybody if they have any questions.
Okay, thank you, sir, for giving more information about the disaster recovery and the PCM in IT dimension. So, okay, we have one question from Pritesh Datani. Are you offering CSX foundation course?
Which one?
CSX. Okay,
CSX?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think CSX course we can offer you. That is not an issue. So basically, if I'm not understand you wrong, you are talking about the ISACA CSX, right?
Okay, I'll just allow Pritesh Datani to talk.
No, no problem.
Pritesh, you can talk now. Mr. Pritesh, yeah, you can talk.
Hi. Sorry, yeah, that's right. The ISACA
Yeah,
qualification.
the ISACA qualification, right? Yeah, we can offer you that one also, because basically you have to register for the exam, but the course contents and the course material and the information with respect to the exam preparation with the question and answers, we can always provide you. That is not an issue.
Yeah, I've registered for it, but it's by end of May, because otherwise it changes syllabus.
Yeah, they are going to change the syllabus. That's what they are doing every 2 to 3 years now, because you need to understand the dimension is changing day by day. Now things are totally changed. When I started doing this CISA sort of things, it was in 2013, and you don't used to hear about AWS clouds and all those things. Now everything is evident. Nobody has their own platforms now. Everything is on cloud. So you can understand the dimension is changing day by day.
Okay. Any questions? Please, you can raise hand or you can put your questions in the chat box. Any question? If you feel that you have anything to share or you want to discuss anything, you can see my contact number, mobile number. You can do me a WhatsApp chat. You can chat with me if you have anything to ask related to your professions or courses. And this is my email address on the screen, jignesh@adudelphi.org. Okay, And our website is www.edudelphi.com/AE. You can view our course details. We are offering supply chain, cybersecurity, project management, and digital marketing course, accounts and finance courses. And you can view our trainer profile, and you can see our daily blogs. So it shows that how our trainer is involved in sharing the knowledge. So this is the main thing in the Delphi Star Training Center. And hopefully you can have more question and answer sessions in the future. And you can let us know by doing this WhatsApp chat. You can let me know if I can help you. You can message me anytime. And we are doing more video sessions, putting more knowledge sessions in the YouTube channel. You can see Come Learn Together and Delphi Star Training. These are the two education platform YouTube channel where you can see many things about the professions courses. And if you want to have any courses inquiry, you can ask me. And thank you, Kashif sir, to give us more knowledge, and thank you everyone to attending this webinar and stick till the end. And one more time, if anyone have question, please ask me, or you can put in the chat box. I think no one has the question. I think everybody is clear with the concept. So thank you. And if you have any feedback, you can share with me. And if you want to discuss on certain topics, we can put in a recommendation, and we'll do a webinar on that topic. Thank you for coming. See you soon in the next webinar. Thank you.